Weird. You like never ask me if I'm ready.
I'm recording.
Okay, well,
It didn't matter what your answer was.
I didn't give consent,
It didn't
and
matter what your answer was. I just pressed the button. It's too late now.
okay.
Hi, Pat.
Hi. It's 98 degrees outside, apparently.
Oh my god, we've been going through it. We've been going through a pretty big heat wave here on the East Coast.
Yeah.
I don't know about the rest of the world.
I think it's awful everywhere right now.
Yeah, I saw a map of the heat wave, and like the entire U.S. was like in black, basically.
Black.
Yeah, as like in the heat colors, you know.
So it wasn't like a heat map.
It was a heat map, yes.
It got to black.
It got to like a really dark brown. I'll say that.
That's like, that's bustin'.
That's bustin'.
Jesus.
Hi everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the What Did the Gays Think podcast.
This episode is the first post-gay month, post-Pride month episode.
It is the post Pride Month episodes. We were doing them for quite a while, and now we're back to our ever loving normal schedule.
We have some post-nut clarity.
A little bit, yeah. And actually, I do have a quick announcement before we start the podcast. I mean, I kind of did this without telling you, Pat, but I'm doing it regardless.
I already know what you're gonna say, so it's fine.
Yeah. The podcast is going to a bi-weekly schedule. Few reasons for that. We're both very busy.
You don't have to tell them.
What?
You don't have to tell them.
Well, I'm going to bring it up anyway, because I was going to bring this up as a topic in the podcast regardless. I am a new parent. I'm a new parent of a lovely new puppy, a lovely German Shepherd puppy. His name is Axel. He's 11 weeks old now, coming up on 12 weeks, and he's driving me insane. So I have less time to exist. And you know what, Pat? It's fine. So we're going bi-weekly, still on Wednesdays, and therefore the next episode of this podcast will come out in 2 weeks from the day it is coming out.
You know,
and we'll be moving from there. Yes, Pat?
that's totally fine. Jackie loves when things are bi.
Okay. Work.
Because it's bi-weekly. Although Jackie's not bi, so I don't know why I made the joke.
Although, you know what? Bi-weekly is a little bit vague. So
yeah, it's either
every
twice
other
a
week.
week or every other week. Yeah,
every other week. We're not doing twice a week. Twice
like
a week
biennial.
insane. Biannual is confusing.
Biennial and biannual.
Biannual.
Biannual. You don't have to buy it. I'm giving it for free.
Okay. Well, I thought we'd do a little fun activity now that we're back on the regular schedule of the podcast.
Is it gonna be fun?
Maybe. Maybe
we'll
not.
find out.
And this is just, we've been away for a while and actually talking about what's going on with, our lives and stuff like that. So here's what we're going to do. I want us to give one good experience that we've had since, May at this point? And one bad experience that we've had. Or, mediocre. It doesn't have to be bad.
Okay, reliving trauma. You go first.
Okay. My good experience, I will say, will be going to Jackie's Wet and Wild 30th birthday party.
It wasn't getting your dog.
Well, that I have as kind of the mediocre experience. Because I like the puppy, but then again, I've had little sleep. I've fallen back into my coffee addiction. And I stopped working out. So it's given me a run for my money. But, in a few weeks, few months, I'll get back into it, because parenting, obviously.
I know all you parents out there, all you single parents out there know what's up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And even though I have Troy in the house, my boyfriend, he's always working. So it's basically me single parenting, even though I also work 9 to 5 days a week.
Well, at least you're home. For most of it.
Yes, exactly. But and my work understands. They're very understanding. I said I have a new puppy. I may have to spend some time, doing other things, and they're very understanding. So that's lovely.
It's wild that they understand, because I feel like most places would not understand. Like if you were going in days a week, you couldn't leave early.
Oh no.
Like daily. You couldn't be like, all right, guys, I'm gonna be here Monday to Friday like usual, but I'm taking an hour off every day to go home early to see my dog. They'd be like, no, you're absolutely not. So I think we're living in the company you work for, without giving the name.
Yeah.
I think it's a more I would suspect it's a little more lenient given the culture around it, but also we're living in like a post not post COVID, but post let's say peak COVID time where working from home became the norm. So I feel like a lot of places that now allow people to work from home are realizing, you can have some leniency but still be as productive regardless.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, work from home,
I'm Dolly
and
Parton.
it's lovely.
Do you know that song 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton?
No.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Anyway, Jackie Sweat and Wild 30th birthday party.
Yeah.
Was a lot of fun. We were both there, at least me for all of it, you for half of it.
Yeah.
And it was lovely. We had a water balloon fight, which was very fun, and we
Yeah.
got litty titty bitty. How about you? One good and one bad slash mediocre. Okay.
Well, the good thing is that oh, well, I did get my dog. Much like you, I got a
Yeah.
dog.
Wait, was
But I
that in
think
the last 2 months?
no, I think I got it in May.
Okay.
No, April? Anyway, that's not even going to be the thing. I'm going to talk about I went to Mexico.
Oh, yes, yes, yes,
Went
yes.
on a trip to Mexico for a few days, a little rest and relaxation from my stress. And then I guess the bad thing would be I still haven't recovered from whatever I had sickness wise.
Oh,
Like I'm still coughing every so often, and my rib pain is still here every time I cough or touch it. So
mm.
that's great. But I will say that Mexico, I've told you this. I went to the gay part of Mexico, PV, Puerto Vallarta, which was
Yeah,
in the news a while ago for, obvious reasons with COVID.
yeah.
And I went there, I stayed at the gay beach area.
Mm.
And I was surprised that for a big touristy area, the infrastructure was kind of not great in terms of either there had been a lot of construction being done or it was just never taken care of to begin with. And also, the very flagrant, I should say, um, people asking for me to buy drugs off them. Like constantly, constant. I would walk out of our little hotel. I'd walk down the street to get to the main street, and there's always three groups of young people. Young people.
Hmm.
Some of them looked like they were adults. Some of them looked like they were fucking 15. They walk up to you, and usually the first thing is say, like, "Oh, do you want a cigar?" They're like, "No, I'm good." They're like, "Oh, well, do you want cocaine?" I'm like, "Okay, great escalation." So, so much. I didn't buy any drugs, and it was funny because at one point we were making jokes about it, and then the hotel lobby dude came out. And he was like, "Oh yeah, don't buy drugs off them. That's not good." Like, and we are like, "Yeah, of course not." He's like, "But if you do want drugs, I can get you them." And I was like, and that happened a
Classic.
few times. A bartender we also spoke to was like, "Well, if you want drugs, I know where to get them."
Let me know.
But it was nice. I mean, I was there really just to relax, and we got like a rooftop. We got like the top floor of like a little hotel. It had a private pool. It had access to the beach. I swam every day, which was I love swimming, so I was
It
so
looks
happy to
so
swim every
lovely. I
day.
saw the pictures. Looks so lovely. That.
It rained almost every day though, which was kind of upsetting.
Oh well. At least you
But
got to chill in that pool, though, right?
oh yeah, I was swimming every day. I will say though, two things that did happen. One of which we went to a strip club, cock everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Like you walk in and the guy's like, ugh, and he like puts his cock, and you're like, no. And of course, the dancers in the strip club want you to buy them drinks and tip them. And I was like, I don't have any cash. Sorry.
Mm.
Not a lot of places took card, which was strange. Not a lot of the strip clubs, at least. Uh, but then the last night we were there, I think I might have told you and Jackie this too. I had probably the most fun in like a bar club I've ever had in my entire life.
Wow.
It was because it was a Monday night, so there weren't a lot of people in the bar to begin with. The bar has like a dance floor, but we didn't even go to the dance floor. We just stayed at like they have like a dance room. We just stayed at the small dance floor by the bar. They were just playing faggot music,
Mm.
women of pop, 2000s music, 2010s music. I was drunk to the point where I knew like I was not drinking
Okay,
anymore. I got that
Windows.
perfect. Oh,
Sorry, Windows decided to. That's going to come
it's
through in the
okay.
podcast.
I won't hear it unless I listen to the
The
episode.
podcast listeners will hear it. Anyway,
Yeah.
keep going.
I got to that perfect level of drunk where it was like, I'm not drunk and wasted and sloppy, but I'm like a perfect level of just, I need to stop now. It's awesome. And then people started to leave. And it was just me and my friends who had the entire dance floor to ourselves.
Wow, how
And all
sweet.
of not everyone in the group was there. Almost everyone was, and we just danced for like 2 or 3 hours. I sweat so much.
Ah,
We left. We got food. We came back. We drank a little bit more. It was lovely,
wow. What did you eat?
lovely. Oh, we picked up. There was like a convenience store open 24/7, so I picked up like I don't know. It was like a ham and it was like a turkey and cheese sandwich or some shit like that.
Mm.
But I was so drunk, I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
There was a chef in house that you could ask to make 2 meals a day for you, and I don't want to be shady,
What do you
but,
mean?
but I am going to be shady. The chef wasn't that good.
Well,
Like
maybe
the
it's good.
food was fine.
Maybe you didn't tip him enough. I don't know.
Oh, we gave him money, honey,
Mm.
money
Money,
and
honey.
money, honey, and it was funny because some people in the group were like, "This food is so good." I looked around and I was like, "This doesn't have any flavor." It's like, and I'm the white man saying that. I'm like, "There's no flavor here."
Oh, oh.
Anyway, we're back at it. We're back at the regularly scheduled program.
Well, maybe they were trying to cater to the white people that go to Puerto Vallarta.
We had a
Um,
very diverse group.
oh, well, I'm just saying maybe they're used to the white people coming through, and that's where like let's not add any flavor to this.
They're like, they have to bottom later. They can't be like that.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
They have to bottom money. Nothing spicy.
did we talk about Rob Anderson's bottom
Bottoming?
menu on bottoming?
Oh, no, I don't. I think we might have alluded to it last time, but I will say, gay people getting sponsorship, getting money, I love.
Yeah, yeah.
For the most part, as long as they're doing good for the community. And I don't think Rob Anderson's doing bad for the community. I think he's fine. But I think there is a lot of association of uh, there's two things happening. One thing is in the queer, especially in the gay male community. I don't know about other communities. I'm not in those communities, but there is a lot of body image issues in terms of wanting to be thinner, fitter, and then as a bottom, there's the idea that you have to kind of cater to the top and not make quote unquote a mess. So you
Mm.
have to either. So I know people who will just starve themselves who like, oh, after breakfast I don't eat if I'm bottoming for the rest of the day. I'm like, okay. And then some people are like, you have to eat certain foods. So when Rob Anderson came out with that menu with what Uber Eats or something,
I don't
what was
remember.
that?
I don't remember.
He collabed with someone. I was like, this is funny as a joke, but I think there's this conversation we need to have about body image issues, relationships with food, and bottoming as I don't know about everyone else, but if I'm topping someone, I'm with a bottom. If they're shit, I'm not mad. I'm like, I'm not. I'm like it. I'm like, let's get in the shower, let's cleanse ourselves, and let's do a reset the mood, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I don't. Is that disgusting? Like I don't need
No,
the bottom to be like, I haven't eaten in 3 days.
no. Honestly, I don't care. And also, me when I bottom, I don't care. I just eat whatever.
You were like, I'm a shit on your dick.
I'm
You
a
got to
shit.
take
If
it.
there's shit down there, I apologize.
I'm a shit on these walls, Ray. Yeah, I think that's. What do you think? I mean, I think it's funny, but I think there's more to be said.
Yeah. I mean, like, I didn't mind it. Like,
Yeah, I wasn't mad.
yeah. I mean, some people said it was cringe. I was like, I don't think it's cringe. I mean, I think Rob Anderson in general is cringe. Uh,
Thank God we're not popular.
Thank God. But yeah, I didn't. I mean, I didn't mind it. I do agree with you though, in terms of we shouldn't be encouraging people to starve themselves or like to change their habits in order to please their partner. I'm not about that.
Yeah, and I think Rob Anderson as a person. I mean, I saw him at Pride Planet. I didn't say hi. He's probably a totally fine guy, and I think the content he makes, at least from my perspective, is campy. It is almost sort of like his persona is a gay man as a social influencer. Like that's a separate persona that he's playing when he's recording. So I think it's kind of meant to be a little campy and cringe because that's he's like, oh, what if a gay man was cognizant of like his social media status and made this content?
Yeah, yeah.
I think that if he's not going for that, oops.
I mean,
Sorry.
the gay science videos, I liked them at first, but now I just every time I see them, I'm like, I'm just gonna skip this.
Oh my God, we can never have him on the pod now. I mean, I would talk to him. I don't know about you, but I saw him
I
at
would
Pride
talk to
Planet, and
him.
like just as jacked as he is in photos. Like he is ridiculous. His body type is ridiculous.
Right, right.
Like it's crazy his body.
Listen, we can cut this part out if we want to, but we'll decide that
No,
later.
no. Now we have to cut this part out because this podcast never second guesses itself.
No, I'm not cutting anything out of this. All right, here we go. Let's talk about other topics that have been going on. You ready?
Yeah.
Monkeypox.
Oh, okay. Well, here we go.
Here we
I have
go.
a story. I have a story. Is that why you led into this?
No, it's not. I mean, go ahead and tell the story, but that's not why I led into
Well,
this.
let me pull up. Let me just pull up
You
monkeypox.
pull them up. Pull them up.
Let's talk about what monkeypox actually is. Do
Isn't
you
it
know
a
who she
different?
is?
It's a different strain of smallpox, right? Or it's like in the same
Yeah,
family.
monkeypox and smallpox and chickenpox are all in the same viral family, if I'm not mistaken. It's
Hmm.
very close to smallpox. So I just pulled up the World Health
Now,
Organization
actually, I
monkeypox.
for chickenpox, I think that might be something different.
Okay, well here, let me.
I think I was reading up on this, and it was like chickenpox is a different virus family, but smallpox and monkeypox are very closely
Oh
related.
yeah, this smallpox is variola, and I'm pretty sure chickenpox is varicella. Right? Am I in the ballpark?
Mm.
Am I in the ballpark?
Well, if I
Yeah,
go ahead and
yeah.
pull up Google, okay.
Yes, chickenpox is varicella zoster, which is, I guess, related to herpes, which is herpes zoster. And
Yeah.
then monkeypox and smallpox, I'm assuming, are variola. Areola?
Areola.
My areola? Okay. So I just pulled
Areol?
up the World Health Organization monkeypox thing, which is not what I wanted. So I'm backing out of that. I'm going to the CDC monkeypox thing. This is what I wanted. Okay, so monkeypox is a rare disease caused by infection with the monkeypox virus. No shit.
Hmm.
Same family as the smallpox virus. You can cut out the part where I say it's the same as chickenpox. But thank you.
No, again, like I said, I'm not cutting this out. This is.
I love it. Specifically, monkeypox is not related to chickenpox. Okay, so symptoms
There you
can
go.
include fever, headache, muscle aches, backache, swollen lymph nodes, chills, exhaustion, and of course the rash. Um, the rash is usually on the face or on the extremities, but can move. It can be anywhere else, obviously, but usually starts there. And honestly, the rash goes through several stages. So usually it starts almost like as a raised bump, almost like a pimple. It
Hmm.
can get pustule, it could break, and then it could scab over, and then the scab falls off. Once all your scabs are off, you're considered not contagious anymore because while the lesion is active, it's shedding virus.
Mm.
Much like herpes, you shed virus when the thing is there, much like chickenpox, much like smallpox, when
Yeah.
you're oozing,
Ugh.
little oozy. And then yeah, so let's talk about it. What do you want to? Where should we start? Should we talk about the stigma, or should we talk about
Well, okay.
the vaccine rollout? There's a lot to talk about
There
here.
is a lot to talk about here. And I'm going to start with this because this has happened in the last couple days. There has been push by media outlets that I've trusted before, like
Oh,
AP News, NBC News. They're saying like, oh, monkeypox could become the next big STI in the United States. And I'm like, lots of problems there. Mostly
yeah,
because they're implying that monkeypox is an STI, which it is not. You
it's
can't.
not.
Yes, you can spread it by having sex with someone, but that's because you're in close contact with someone. That doesn't mean that that's the only way that you can transmit it. And
Yeah.
secondly, there's also a big stigma on gay men, so it's kind of a little bit relevant to us, and we could talk about that
Oh, a
further
little
if
bit.
you would like. Yeah,
Oh, a little bit, honey.
a
Oh,
little
well, let's
bit.
get it. Okay, so a lot of people online, and I use that anecdotally, but I'll get into some more real evidence later. But anecdotally online, we've been seeing a lot of posts saying, comparing this to HIV/AIDS, where you had a group of people, gay men,
Yeah.
same as now, gay men, being sort of put into a box, shoehorned, stigmatized for being sort of the epicenter of some sort of disease. Both viruses, previously as HIV, back in the 80s and 90s and blah, blah, blah. 80s? 80s.
80s, yeah.
And then now it's monkeypox, obviously. So people are saying that since the news is constantly reporting as it is primarily in the gay community, it's a primarily an STI, which we know it isn't. It's can be transmitted that way, but it's not only that.
Yeah.
And of course, it's like needle sharing, sex work, things like that. And those are all things that have been stigmatized towards the gay and queer communities before. That's really damaging to our community.
Yeah.
And it's kind of upsetting that you jump 40 years in the future from 1980 and you still have the same sort of problems
Yeah,
with
it's like everybody
how,
forgot what happened.
well, people probably want to, because people are awful. So having this sort of repeated history is a bit of I'm sure it's traumatizing to those who experienced the HIV crisis. I didn't, so it's not really traumatizing to me, but it is
Yeah.
very upsetting. So that's one leg of it. The other leg, particularly in Jersey and New York, because that's where we live, the vaccine rollout has been like pitiful.
Oof.
Now
Oof. Talk about it. Tell me about it.
the vaccine is there's currently one vaccine, I believe, but it's related to the smallpox vaccine because they're both in the same viral family. I believe it has some dumb name, just like all of them have dumb
Oh,
names.
I want to get it. I want to get this vaccine.
I'm gonna get it up my ass. I'm gonna
Ah!
right up my ass.
I heard they shoot it in your
Uh,
armpit or like near it. I'm like, oh.
I saw it was like here.
Yeah, yeah, somewhere like there. And I'm
We
like,
gotta
oh.
grab some fatty tissue. Okay. I don't know the name of the vaccine. The name isn't relevant. Basically, it's a very similar to smallpox, and I don't believe it's an mRNA vaccine. I believe it is a boot-scoot-in-old attenuated virus or weakened virus strain or viral capsid.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to go through the whole sort of efficacy trials that the mRNA one did. We already have something similar. And what's even more frustrating is that monkeypox isn't new, right? So
No,
monkeypox
it's not new.
actually affects many other countries, just not ours. And the data has been published on it from those countries of how to identify it, test for it, treat for it, whatever. All of it's there, ready and willing to just be Googled.
Yeah.
And of course, you have the vaccine. So why is it that the vaccine rollout is so slow? Why is it
Hmm.
so hard for me just to schedule an appointment for a vaccine? And also, why is both the social media or media and also the medical community, which we'll get to later, so ignorant to this disease, which has been around? Like COVID, I get, because COVID, there had been other COVID viruses, but nothing this extreme
Hmm.
that affected everyone, had a really high infectivity rate. It was very deadly at certain points, depending on which strain you had. We had to have a new vaccine for it. Totally get it. This, though, isn't something nearly as novel. That's why it's called the novel COVID-19. It's not as
Yeah.
novel.
And you know what? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why the
Tell me.
media and the government don't seem to care about it that much, and it's because again, it's being reported on as a disease that only affects men who have sex with men.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
Go ahead, honey.
I mean, they do deserve it. No.
Ah!
Um, I no, they don't deserve it. So it's one thing to hear like the media not portray it correctly, but then I had a story relate to me recently.
Okay, go into the story. Tell me.
A friend I know, a man, a gay man, a
A
man who has sex with
man's.
men,
Yeah.
believed he had monkeypox because he saw some lesions on his body, and he was like, "Well, I gotta go get tested because I want to be safe." So he went to an urgent care, and he walks into urgent care, and then he goes in, and basically what happens is he goes, "Oh, I hear because I think I have monkeypox," and the nurse is like, "Oh, hold on." Nurse
Mm.
leaves, comes back, no doctor, just the nurse. The nurse goes, "Listen, um, couple things. One, the doctor's pregnant, and she does not want to come in here because she doesn't want to risk getting it.
Mm.
Two, if you had told us you had monkeypox, we would have not even let you in the examination room. We would have told you to go somewhere else because we don't. They didn't explicitly say they don't have anything to treat it. They just said they don't know. They don't want to handle it,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Mm-hmm.
Three, you could take a photo of it. We can give it to the doctor, and she could try to diagnose it from that. And then four, go to a different urgent care. But we don't want this to deter you from coming back to us later if you need help with something else.
Mm-hmm.
So let me get this straight. First of all, not my fucking fault, not their fucking fault that the doctor's pregnant.
Yeah,
Every doctor
yeah.
takes an oath to do no harm and to treat those unbiasedly. There are plenty of doctors who are pregnant and still working. If she was worried about not catching any diseases, she shouldn't be fucking working. She should just be at home
Especially
gestating that fucking parasite.
especially in an urgent care parasite.
Children are parasites to the womb, to the mom. I mean,
Yeah,
they
until
clearly
they
are.
get, birthed.
And then they're just an annoying little shit.
Anyway, if you're a pregnant doctor, I'm assuming you assume that risk. Like, there's a risk that you're gonna
Yeah.
potentially catch some disease.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said before, monkeypox isn't new. There have been publications on it. There are known standards of practice of how to deal with patients without contracting it yourself.
Yeah.
For example, monkeypox requires close, intimate contact. It also requires prolonged contact. You can also do it through the sputum, I've heard, like if you cough up a lot, because it can cause you to have flu-like symptoms.
Yeah.
But if you are a doctor who's gloved and masked and knows these things because you're a fucking doctor, I'm sure you can handle it. COVID, I believe, has a far more infectious rate than monkeypox. What's that letter? It's like the R value.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the spread per person or something like that.
And doctors are able to manage that all the time. I'm sure she sees patients who say, I need a COVID swab all the time. So I was like, she doesn't understand what's happening as a doctor. So she's, ill-informed or maybe even biased because she thinks, I don't want to catch this disease that I know nothing about.
I don't want to get the gay disease. God.
And then the idea of having him take a photo of his own sores and give it to the doctor to diagnose is completely... Telemedicine exists. I do say that. But the idea is she can't diagnose off of that. She needs to test him. And they weren't willing to test him. And it's important that they test him because the CDC wants all cases of monkeypox known. Because when you test positive, the CDC sends you a notice that says you cannot leave your house. Like, you should not leave your house for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then you can show that to your employer and be like, listen, can't come into work because I got blah, blah, blah. So there are so many levels to how awful this is. And it just harkens back to HIV/AIDS patients who would go to doctors and be like, listen, I need help. And they would go, well, I don't want to help you because I don't know how this disease spreads. It's a horrible disease. I don't want it. And it's just like, it's wild that I'm sure this doctor sees COVID patients all the time now because he knows much more about it and won't see this person who has monkeypox.
Yeah, and it just goes to show that she probably just didn't do the research about it and is ill-informed about it. But also, the messaging about it from our government has also not been good.
Yeah, but you'd hope the doctor would be like, put on their thinking cap and be like, oh, I was a trained scientist. I know how to critically think. I know I shouldn't just believe whatever I hear. I should go do the research.
Yeah. And it's even worse, too, because I've heard other people say that they're like, oh, I think I might have monkeypox, but they're not a man who has sex with men.
Yeah.
And they try to go get tested, and they're like, that can't be monkeypox because you're not a man who has sex with men, so that can't be it. They don't even test them.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, now you're building, obviously all reported cases to the CDC are going to be men who have sex with men, if that's the only people that you're going to test. So you have a sampling bias.
Yeah,
So
yeah, of course it's all gay men.
Yeah, how are we going to know if this is spreading throughout the heterosexual community now if you don't test those people?
I saw, do you follow Tyler Oakley on Instagram?
On Instagram? No, I don't think so.
I saw him post a tweet of an article. The article was from MSNBC or some shit like that. It was like, first 2 confirmed cases of monkeypox in children, right? And I was like, oh, that's terrible. He then posts the comments, and he only posted 5 of them. They all alluded to how gay men must have fucked those kids.
Here we go. Yep.
How they were like, oh, Pride Month just happened. Of course those kids got it. And I was like, huh? And they were like, oh, well, were they around some gay guys? I was like, so now we're back to the whole gay men are pedophiles thing. It's like,
of course,
it's just cyclical and circular and awful. And I'm just, and trying to get a vaccine now is so difficult, especially Jersey has 3 lines, 3 telephone numbers you can call, one of which doesn't help. I called one of them. They were like, check our Facebook site for information. I was like, Facebook? You can't just... I'm calling you directly, bitch, because I want the information from you. I don't want to go on Facebook. I don't have a Facebook. And then these sites constantly vacillate between, you'll hear one of them go, it's appointment only. Then it like passes around time. It's like, all right, now we're doing walk-ins. All right, all of them are gone. Come back next day. And then some people cancel appointments. They're like, okay, we got 3 open appointments. I'm like, I understand you want to try to get as many out, but you have to do it way more systematically than this. And also, the amount of vaccines we have is so pitiful. So pitiful.
Here we go. Vaccine rollout. Biden administration. What's going on? Anyway, yeah, those groomer comments, the groomer and pedophile comments, I saw them as well, and I'm like, well, great. Seems like we're going back to HIV/AIDS world, but whatever.
No one wants to fuck your kid, all right? No one wants to fuck your kid except for you nasty whore, you pedophile whore.
Also, again, it's not an STI. It spreads through skin-to-skin contact, and also contact with the potential like fluid from the pus.
Like if you share clothing or if you share bedding, you can also get it.
Yeah.
What if someone lets you borrow a shirt? Bam.
Exactly. And what if these children had two gay parents? Like it was, two men as the parents here, and they just had a child. And the child is obviously around the parents. They use the same couch, use the same chairs and tables and stuff. You could easily catch it that way, and now everyone's going to be like, oh, those parents molested that child. And I'm like, no, that's not what happened.
Are you saying the two gay parents would have had it, though? Well, how they have it? Are they fucking other people, honey?
Listen, this is what I think. I think it has to do a lot with community spread within the gay community. And the reason I think there's a lot of community spread, especially right now during the summertime, is that gay men like to go to the club, like to party. Exactly, they like to dance with their shirts off. That's what I'm getting at. Like, there's going to be skin-to-skin contact, and if someone has monkeypox, that's an easy way to catch it.
It's not my fault that my community has such a better nightlife than the fucking straight community, all right? It's not my fault. We like to have fun.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say. Like, gay men like to dance with their shirt off. They're sweaty. They're in the club. They rub up against each other.
I'm licking them.
It's not
licking everyone.
It's not necessarily that they're fucking each other. Like, yes, obviously, some gay men have more sexual partners than the average straight person. But I think it's more of the gay men like to club and,
it's
like
not my fault. My gay men show affection to each other just by hugging, let's say, more so than a straight man shows affection, because straight men aren't in touch with their emotions because they have baggage. It's not my fault that we actually create community and family because our parents sucked, and we show emotion to each other because we know how to have a real emotional connection.
Anyway, that's what I think is happening. So if there are gay men listening to this podcast, one way that you could potentially not get monkeypox is if you are in the club and you're dancing, you can keep your shirt on. That might be one way. I'm just saying.
Or just don't touch up. Like, keep your hand sanitizer on you. Don't touch up on anyone you don't know. I know some people who aren't even going out. They're like, oh, I don't feel like it right now. Like, it's too much. It's too much. So, like, with COVID, I was like, that's fine. That's a totally acceptable answer.
Yeah, and COVID's going up, too. So, like, perfectly acceptable thing to not, go to the clubs and whatnot.
Yeah, I know 2 people who got COVID recently.
Oh, who? Well, you know what? Don't name them on the podcast. Actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's their medical information. You know both of them, though.
Okay, we'll talk about it later. I will tell you, I thought I had COVID the other day because I was a little nauseous, and nausea was one of... Oh, God.
You do have COVID. You do have COVID, you nasty whore.
That was actually me swallowing my spit.
Okay.
Anyway, I was nauseous, and that was one of the symptoms I had when I had COVID the first time. Is I was nauseous for 7 days. So I thought, oh God, maybe I have COVID. God,
7 days and 7 nights. You're like, Jesus.
I was like, maybe I have COVID again. I popped one of my tests, and I was negative. I was like, okay.
Oh, here we go.
Then the next day I felt fine.
Here. Oh, look at that lighting. Yeah, I mean, I've just been coughing all the time now, though. So that's the problem. Every time I hang out with people, I'm like, I'm not sick. I promise.
I'm not sick. It's not COVID. It's not monkeypox.
It's not monkeypox. It's nothing. It's just dying. Do you want to talk about San Diego Comic-Con?
Sure. Yeah. Let's go to a lighter topic. Well, I think it's gonna be a lighter topic, right?
Yes, lighter. I mean, I'm not gonna. Listen. Just go online. You can see all of that was announced. I just want to talk about the main events for DC and Marvel. Obviously, it's always comic book stuff now. I'm just gonna say DC basically showed 2 things. Marvel showed about 1,000. Marvel had a separate panel for animation and a separate panel for live action. That's how much shit they had to show, and they showed it.
Oh yeah!
Did you hear about any of it?
I saw the Black Panther. What was it, like a little clip?
Yeah, it showed a trailer.
Saw that. But what I didn't see was anything else.
Well, DC showed the new Shazam film and Black Adam film. I don't really care about either. The only thing I care about when it comes to DC now is the Batman films with Robert Pattinson because those are the most engaging, and the Joker film.
Right.
But I just nothing else titillates me anymore. I'm not excited. I don't have a boner for it. But Marvel,
Oh,
my dick fell off when
oh.
Marvel.
Here's a question for you, actually.
Yeah, tell me.
Besides your dick falling off, um,
Go for it.
why do you think that the DC cinematic universe, I guess we could call it, why do you think it's struggling so much compared to the Marvel cinematic universe?
No one person like Kevin Feige to direct, not to direct it, but to shepherd it, because
Hmm.
Kevin Feige basically runs Marvel Studios as like the head of, I don't know if he's head of production. He's like the head guy who like, tells them, all right, we're gonna design out these like 20 years of films. Let's plot it all out now and have a vague idea, and then you can build it from there.
Yeah.
DC, I think, went got like when DC started to make its interconnected films, they had Zack Snyder with Man of Steel, with Batman v Superman, with Justice League, but there was a mixture of Zack Snyder's vision for the films is not really what fans wanted. Some fans really liked it. There was a mixture of WB Warner Brothers interfered with some of the production of it in terms of what they wanted to see and what they couldn't show. And that's why you have things like the Zack Snyder Justice League cut where he got to redo it the way he wanted to do it. And now Discovery Media and Warner Brothers actually merged. So now there's a bunch of reshuffling of people who are involved
Mm,
with WB. And also, Warner Brothers producing the films for theatrical releases is separate from the TV shows they do on HBO Max of DC stuff, instead of Marvel, which covers both film and TV shows on Disney Plus. So there's just a lot of different people running different aspects of it. So
right.
you don't get anything very unified. And then, of course, the Flash film was supposed to help unify everything, but now Ezra Miller has gone crazy. So who knows if that's even going to go well?
Ezra Miller. It was always a new headline like every day. It was like
I know. I was like, he's got
Ezra Miller
guns.
beat people. Like I'm like, what?
He's grooming, and I was like, oh, God.
The real
So
groomer is the
Marvel,
straights. I'm just saying.
Ezra's not straight.
Is he not? I don't know. I actually don't.
No, I believe he's gender queer, like non-binary. Like I don't think, I think he is not even, I think he uses they, them slash he, him pronouns,
Oh,
honestly.
here we go.
But
Didn't know. Oops. Mm.
I believe he's non-binary, genderqueer, and I believe he's not straight. I believe he's like bi or pan, but he's like very sort of I am what I am kind of thing.
Okay. Okay. Work.
Work. That should be a clip. So Marvel did its theatrical films yesterday, and they released all the stuff that's going to be in Phase 5. Part of the stuff's going to be in Phase 6, and then of course the last two things of Phase 4 are She-Hulk and the Black Panther film, if I'm not mistaken. So they released trailers for those two things. They then released trailers for the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and Ant-Man, which are in Phase 5, but they didn't release them online because they're given, the people who there the special treatment. And then they showed the rest of Phase 5, which is a ton of shit. I'm excited for Blade. I'm excited to bring back Daredevil on Disney Plus for
Hmm.
an 18 episode series.
Ah. Now,
18.
is it the same Daredevil or is it a different Daredevil?
It's Charlie. It's the same actor.
Okay.
It's the same Daredevil we saw in, spoiler, Spider-Man No Way Home,
Mm-hmm.
which we assume is probably a very similar Daredevil to the one on Netflix.
Right. So now, is it going to be continuing that, or is it going to reboot it?
We don't know.
Okay, here we go. We're
The
gonna find
series is
out.
called the series is called Born Again, so there might be like a soft reboot.
Mm-hmm.
But he's appearing in She-Hulk.
Okay. All
So
right.
work. So we got
Work.
Blade,
Yeah.
Daredevil, we got a bunch of stuff. And then in Phase 6, we're getting the Fantastic Four film, and we're getting two Avengers films in the same year.
Two Avengers film in the same year.
2025 has like five or six, I think it's five Marvel projects. Two of them are Avengers films, 6 months apart.
Okay, I'm ready.
I was
I'm
texting
ready.
Anthony and John going, I have no more nut to give. I have no more nut
Ah!
in me. And they kept releasing stuff. And the Black Panther trailer was nice. Chadwick Boseman unfortunately passed away, so he's no longer playing Black Panther, and that is actually in the film. The character is dead. But you see at the very end of the trailer a new Black Panther, and a lot of people assume it's his sister, played by I think her name is Letitia Wright.
Is it
Letitia?
Shuri or no?
Shuri. Yeah, yeah. The character's name is Shuri. Yeah, but the actress I think is Letitia something, and some people think it's gonna be her because the shot it looks like a more feminine outline of a person.
Hmm.
The wrists are a lot shorter or smaller. The forearm is slimmer. The hands are more like long and angular, and people are not happy about that because the actress was kind
Mm.
of anti-COVID vaccine for a
Oh,
while.
she was anti-vax while at the same time playing a character who was a
A
scientist,
scientist,
which
yeah,
yeah,
hilarious.
lol.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff happened, and I'm excited for all of it. I mean, DC had its panel, and I just didn't care. Like, I saw the Shazam trailer. I've already seen one before this. I saw the Black Adam one. There'd already been a trailer before that. They have announced films, like there's a new Aquaman film, there's the Flash film, there's Blue Beetle. None of that was there, and I was like, it's kind of fucking boring. But Marvel's like over
Oh,
here planning the next like fucking 4 years of content.
ah, amazing. Well, I'm gonna have to go and see what else they released because again, I only saw the Black Panther thing. So
I was wet.
I was what?
I was wet.
Okay. Are you wet right now?
No, I'm really dry actually. I was outside earlier. I was dry.
Oh my god, my god. I had to get a
The heat.
sprinkler like for my yard because my entire yard is dying.
Well, you could just let it die.
Okay. Will you bring it back to life, Plant Daddy?
No, there'll be shit growing next time. It just won't be what you want.
Oh, okay. Well,
It'll be weeds.
lovely, lovely.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
I mean, we could talk about how much time we got left.
Well, we're at 40 minutes, so
I mean, we can mention Roe v. Wade.
I know, and I don't want to spend too much time on it because we did talk about it a little bit before Pride Month as well, because that's when the leak happened.
But now we know.
But now it actually
It
happened.
happened. It happened. Yeah.
And I will say there is one story that has been going around. It's that one story of the 10-year-old who
Yes.
had to get an abortion in a different state. I believe, what was she from? Ohio, and she had to go to Indiana or something to get an abortion.
Mm.
And then it got like national coverage, but then people started saying it was a hoax. Like a whole bunch of Republicans and conservatives all went online and were basically like, "This is a hoax. Like, there's no evidence of this actually happening." And then they confirmed it, and then and then instead of like admitting that they were wrong, they were like, "Okay, we should investigate the doctor who gave the abortion."
Yeah, because he shouldn't have done that, or they shouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
obviously they should not have given that abortion.
well, Indiana doesn't have, and Indiana supports abortion, obviously, if they could get it done there.
I think there's probably legislation in the works to ban it because Indiana's kind of that, red state, but it wasn't immediate upon Roe v. Wade being overturned like a lot of other states where they had like trigger bans that immediately banned it in their states.
Yeah, I'm just happy Governor Murphy was like, was it Protection of Women? What was it, the Protection of Women Act?
Yeah,
Or
something
something?
like that. They codified abortion rights
Okay.
in New
Is it
Jersey.
codify or codify?
I don't ask me. I don't know the correct
Because
pronunciation.
I'm
I say
assuming
codify.
I've been saying codify, and I'm like, well, what is it?
What is
Hold
the
on.
how to pronounce codify? Codify.
Oh, I think it's codify.
I don't know why it's pronounced that, but I think it is.
Well, would it be codifying or codifying?
Codifying.
And then codified instead of codified?
Yeah.
I don't
I don't
I
like.
don't like that, but I guess I'll have to do it.
Mm.
Codification? That's an ugly ass word.
Well, but I mean, it's not code. Like that's not what is happening. It's a different. It's a
I
different
know, but
word.
I like the link to it though.
Okay. Well,
Like
anyway,
a code is something you follow, like a law, bitch.
ba- code is something you write to do a program.
Or it's a code is something you follow, a way of life, a set of
Oh, okay,
rules,
I
a
guess so.
code.
Like a moral code. Yeah.
Yeah. God.
So it's fucking. Anyway, New Jersey has codified not only abortion access in New Jersey, but also gay marriage was also codified here as well.
Oh, they did
So,
that. Okay. Yeah, a friend of mine was like, I need to move, but I don't know where I'm going to move to. Is Jersey a fun, happening place for gay people? And I was like, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
listen, as long as you stay, there are certain areas, maybe where I live, where you want to avoid.
Well, he wants to live south.
Okay, there's still fine places to live in South Jersey.
Yeah. because he wants
But
land.
just like stay away from Monmouth County, I'd say.
All right, I'll tell him. I'll be like, bitch, don't come here.
Stay away from where I live because
So how do we feel about it, though?
our representative, the Monmouth County representative, or the representative for my district, I don't know if it's that area, voted against codifying gay marriage federally in the House of Representatives because they did do that. Yes, it is a white man, and you know what? He's probably going to win re-election because my district is very Republican. But I will be voting against him, and I'm going to say specifically, I would have voted against him anyway. But I would have been like, you voted against my right to marry, so fuck you.
Do you know his name?
No, I forgot. I forgot his name. Here, let's look it up.
Okay. While you're
gonna put him on blast.
While you're looking that up, I'm just gonna give a little moment to the listeners. Hi, listener.
Hi.
Welcome back. It's been a while. There was something else I wanted to talk about recently. I just can't remember what the fuck it was.
Congressman Chris Smith. Fuck you, Congressman Chris Smith.
Cleaning fruit and vegetables.
Okay, yeah.
How deeply do you clean fruit and vegetables before you eat them?
I wouldn't say too much. Like, I run it under hot water, do a little, wipe with my hands, basically. That's it, though. I wouldn't say I go further than that. I've been seeing
these crazy bitches on TikTok.
Oh, no.
They'll, soak it for hours. They're like, we gotta see what comes out of it. And then they're like, wow, look at the worms coming out of it. Look at the bugs coming out of it. And I'm like, I've been eating fruit my entire life, and I've never taken a bite of it and seen an insect in it.
Oh yeah, neither have I.
Maybe it was in the bite I took and I swallowed it. I don't care. I barely wash the fruit I have now. I eat it regardless.
What kind of fruit and vegetables are these people eating where they're getting bugs and shit?
I think it was some woman on TikTok. She had a big ass jar of fucking cranberry, grape, small fruit. She just left it soaking, and she's like, look at all the maggots or whatever come out of it. And I was like, you need a better hobby. Swallow it. Swallow. God, don't be a coward and swallow.
Ew. But anyway, washing them, I don't soak them, no. I just run it under some hot water and that's it.
You want to talk about that telescope too while we're at it?
Oh my god, yes, the James Webb telescope. I love the James Webb telescope. You are such a bitch, I swear to God. So I love the James Webb telescope picture. Pat is out here being like, okay, so what? What?
I can't. I was talking to Trevor yesterday about this. I was like, so what? Because, okay, but here's my quick little thing about it. It costs like $2 billion to make, right?
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous amount of money. They shipped it up into the space. They are taking photos in IR, not even white light, but IR is great because it gives you more detail about how light passes through objects. There's not as much interference, but they're not actually seeing what things look like to the naked eye. It wouldn't look like this.
Yeah.
So all the beautiful photos, I'm like, that's not even how it actually looks like to us. I'm sorry, you're not an insect or whatever. You don't see an IR.
Okay, you probably wouldn't, even if you were up close and personal to these things, you wouldn't be able to see it like that anyway.
Oh yeah, the scale is all, and it's out in deep space, but all these people on TikTok, all these scientists, some of them crying over these images. And I'm like, girl, boy, they, them, person. It's not that deep. All of these, okay.
Here we go.
I love science.
Here we go.
I love
I'm
scientists.
going to murder you. No, I'm going to vehemently disagree with you.
I am a research scientist.
But you are not an astronomer. You don't know the types of research people are going to be doing with these photos.
That's fine. That is fine. But until I see any research and material derived from it that actually is important, not something like, oh, we now know about a galaxy about a billion miles away. I don't care about that. I want something that is usable, tangible information, that is relevant information. If we were living in a time where everything was peaceful and dandy, that we weren't suffering from, let's say, massive wildfires that are destroying our crops, global warming and climate change, COVID viruses, all these pathogens coming up. If we weren't in time of complete duress, you can do whatever kind of research you want.
Pat, but there is always going to be complete duress on this planet.
Yeah, and I think we should be focusing on that, not spending $2 billion on a big telescope.
You will literally, all the billionaires spending billions of dollars on going to space anyway.
I don't like that either. I don't like any of it.
Regardless of that, look, we could talk all day about how our government should be spending our money. Most of it is going to the military.
Unfortunately.
but this type of research is going to be important. And
When?
there's going to be findings from it. Of course, they're going to release these photos, and you're going to be like, okay, they're photos. Yes, they are photos. You take a picture of your weird biology as well.
Yeah, and they're useless without any sort of data.
And
so
then
I'm
you
waiting
research
for the
them
data.
and you present them.
I'm waiting for the data.
Don't be such a Debbie Downer about people's research. You're going on here being like, okay, what's the big deal about the James Webb Telescope pictures? When it's very important for the people doing that research. Don't Debbie Downer.
I'm waiting.
Here we go. You're such a bitch. I swear to God.
I saw one researcher talk about something they learned from one of the images, and it was about I believe it was about gas composition, because light reflects differently against different types of gases, different matter, different elements, whatever. And they were able to find out that there was oxygen in some location they were looking at.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's cool. Okay, you gave me data, but I just want to know, what do you do with that now? That's all. That's not an unrealistic thing to ask. It's not unrealistic to ask a scientist. People ask me, what are you going to do with your research? And I tell them it's to help crops not die from plant diseases so people can live and eat plants.
Here we go. You're going to be one of those people in the future that are like, let's take funding away from like arts programs and shit, because what does that do?
No, because that benefits society from like an emotional and mental health standpoint.
Is understanding our universe not important to you?
Not as much, no.
Okay, well then don't be a bitch about it, because it's important to some people.
Well,
I want to know about our universe. We're so small, and the universe is, in the grand scheme of things, is a lot larger than us. I would like to understand it.
Yeah. Well, girl, have fun looking at images of literally the past. Because nothing that we see in those images is probably there anymore. It's all fucking gone.
And isn't that interesting to you, though?
No, because it's gone. Like, it's interesting in that, like, I like the idea of, like, exoplanets and, like, the idea that there could be other life on other planets. But, like, the feasibility of seeing it is low, and the feasibility of contacting is even lower, because everything is moving away from everything. Like, any point in space, everything's moving away from it at whatever the speed is that space is expanding. And it just sucks.
But space travel is inconceivable at the moment with our current technology.
Yeah.
But in the future, that's not to say that we couldn't pull it off.
I mean, before we all die.
Well, here's the thing about relativity.
Tell me.
I don't understand a lot about Einstein's theory of relativity, right? But I do understand that when you're traveling in space, depending on how fast you're going, time moves differently depending on how fast you are moving.
Sure.
So what could seem like a few years in space travel could be like 20 years on Earth.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's not inconceivable if the Earth were to die. We could move a pretty good distance through space, but our perception of time would be a few years, while on Earth, it could just pass like 30 years or something.
That's totally fine. But I can't imagine a society where we can actually reach the point where we're able to like move off of Earth in a facility or in a ship that is like capable of sustaining itself long term for that kind of time.
Oh yeah, I mean, we obviously don't have that technology currently.
You ever see Interstellar?
I have seen Interstellar, yes.
Like that kind of shit.
Yeah, and I think they tried to play a little bit in that movie, like, oh, if we do this amount of space travel, like this amount of years is going to pass on Earth, while for us it's only going to be a small period of time.
And then it was the daughter, at the end who's like dead, basically, who's like old.
Yeah, she was really old, and what's his face was like in the universe messing around. That part I didn't really understand, but
yeah, it's a fun movie. I didn't see all of it. I've seen parts of it. It's fun.
Again, I'm not an astronomer, nor really understand Einstein's theory of relativity, but I would like to learn more about it. You know what? I'm gonna learn more about it, and then I'll report back to you.
Okay, I'm gonna try to get
a bitch about it.
I'm gonna try to get a monkeypox vaccine because I don't want to catch this shit. It's painful.
Okay, well, I'm sure it is painful. How would you know you haven't caught it?
No, because I see all these fucking things on Instagram from faggots that I know that are reposting it from other faggots that have it. I saw a video of a man who took off a Band-Aid off his face, and I shit you not, a quarter or like nickel, between a nickel and a quarter size welt lesion on his face from monkeypox. On his face, and those things scar. They scar. Like his beautiful, beautiful, aesthetically pleasing face ruined. But he's
Well,
still a hot white guy. He'll get a bunch of dick. It doesn't matter.
listen, if you get a monkeypox vaccine, let me know how and where, and
Yeah.
also how the side effects are, because I've also heard that the side effects of the monkeypox vaccine are worse than the side effects of the COVID vaccine.
Really? I heard that there aren't that many.
Oh
See, this
well,
disinformation is spreading.
conflicting information we got.
Well, it's
Apparently, we got it.
because the sample size is too small because not enough people are vaccinated.
Well, let's do a quick Google search and see what Google has to say.
Oh my god.
Listen, we're wrapping up here. We're almost at the end here.
We're gonna
Monkeypox.
wrap it before we tap it.
Monkeypox vaccine side effects. Let's see if something comes up here.
Side effects include. Oh wait, this is symptoms. Never mind.
What are the potential side effects of the monkeypox vaccine? You may experience swelling of the face and throat, hives, difficulty breathing, a fast heartbeat, dizziness, or weakness.
Oh, helpful tip. It is given before exposure or within 4 days of exposure. So if you think you were exposed but aren't experiencing symptoms, go get the shot within 4 days and you can still get protection from it. If given between 5 and 14 days after exposure, it may lower the severity of symptoms so you can still get it. You'll not be fully vaccinated and getting the most benefit from this vaccine until 2 weeks after your second shot of, and this vaccine is called Jynneos, Jynneos, Jynneos or Gyneos,
Gyneos. All right.
Ooh.
We're going to sign out. Let's do a Would You Could You Should You, because we haven't done one since we started Pride.
Yeah, yeah,
Here we go. Ready?
yeah,
Fuck, marry, kill.
yeah.
Trixie Mattel, Katya,
Oh,
and Lemon.
oh! It's a white Twinks dilemma.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they love those people. I'm gonna have to kill Katya because Katya I think wants to die or is sort of ready to
Okay.
die.
Is that what she said?
Yeah,
what she
kind
said.
of.
And you know
That's
what?
what she said.
What was that?
And then I would fuck Lemon and marry Trixie because Trixie has so much money. And Lemon would be such
Slay.
like I'm sure. Actually,
Slay.
honestly, I would fuck any of them. I'd probably kill Katya, then fuck Katya's corpse, fuck Lemon, and then fuck Trixie while we're married.
See, we're
obviously.
into necrophilia here. Okay.
And Katya would be okay with it, judging by the very little I know about her personally. Would you, could you, should you? Fuck, marry, kill. Smallpox,
The virus?
monkeypox, or chickenpox.
How am I gonna fuck, marry, kill these viruses? Okay, fine.
It's about the vibe of each one. It's about the vibe.
All right, well, I'm gonna kill monkeypox.
Isn't smallpox worse than monkeypox? You know?
Well, smallpox is eradicated, so are we taking them as if they're
Someone-
all the same, like the same prevalence at the moment?
No. All right. No. I'm gonna get rid of chickenpox. I'm gonna put polio. Someone got polio in New York City recently. So you got the fuck, marry, kill, chickenpox, or fuck, fuck, marry, kill, smallpox, monkeypox, or polio.
Okay. Well, I'm still gonna kill monkeypox because I feel like it's the most prevalent at the moment, and just
Okay.
if we could eradicate that, then fine.
Oh, you gonna fuck?
I'm gonna fuck. I'm gonna fuck smallpox because I love the vibe, honestly. Eradicated.
Yes.
I love that vibe.
I love it.
And you know what?
Marry polio.
I'm gonna marry polio because I don't want to fuck polio because I don't want to be paralyzed. So, but if I marry polio, I don't necessarily have to I could just be,
Right.
I could
Be
love
with
from
him.
a distance, but I don't
Yeah.
have to get too close to it.
Work, honestly.
But anyway, yeah, and polio's basically eradicated too. So.
Yeah, they're both divas, eradicated divas. Well, that was great. Thank you.
You're welcome. So thanks everybody for listening and watching this episode of the What Do the Gays Think podcast. Our Twitter is at WDTGT podcast if you want to give us a follow there for updates and other stuff. We also have a Twitch at What Do the Gamers Think, GAYMERS. There's also a link in the description. We stream on Mondays and Thursdays usually at around 8:30 p.m. Eastern time in the United States, the great United States, or the not great United States.
Honestly,
Honestly, and if you want to keep up with us outside of the podcast, you could join our Discord, link in the description. And I am Mac Lubeck.
And I'm
Monkeypox.
soliciting.
No.
No, no, no. See, you fucking no. Now I'm not doing it.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
And now I'm soliciting cocaine from minors in Mexico. No, I'm not gonna do that either. No, I'm desperately trying to get a monkeypox vaccine appointment or walk in, but no one can give me any information on it. It's
Same. Like I said, if you get one, you let me know because I want one
I'm
too.
right up my hole.
Okay. Okay. Anyway,
Bye.
goodbye.
Right. Right.